I see the question on social media a lot, is Seasons black owned? He watched me actually withdraw money from that Bitcoin to pay for a lot of the stuff you see today in Seasons. I tell people you need to know your bottom dollar, right? You need to know how much it costs you every day to operate that building for this month. I am there to feed others. If I continue to water them, God will water me.
What's up, guys? This is Brianna Moore, your host of the Conversations Unearthed podcast, where y'all come for me, but you stay for the guests. Today, y'all, I already know we got the biggest show in the world, so we got to have the biggest guests in the world. I'm not sure if y'all familiar with who is sitting next to me. If you're not, then it's probably intentional. But who I have here is Mr. Soup. Applause.
Happy to be here.
I'm happy that you're here with me because I know that you booked and busy. And we talked a little bit prior to recording, so I usually do an introduction, but I'm gonna let you take off the mask. I'm gonna let you.
You do your introduction.
You want
first.
me to do it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
All right. We have the owner of the restaurant that you may know what it is, but it's called Seasons. Okay, and this spot is not just a restaurant, but I think that the first time I went there was impromptu. I saw it all lit up on the side of the street. I was on a little I was on it on
We'll
a
call
date.
it a side mission.
Yeah. I was on a little side mission. And we went in there and we had an amazing time. Drinks are amazing. I'm vegetarian right now, so I had the mozzarella sticks. The next time I went into this facility, it was for Threaded Men's Fashion Week, a networking event. It was perfect. The ambiance was amazing. But I always wondered who owned the joint. Like who is the person that created this? And y'all come to find out, Mr. Soup is the one who is behind the magic of what is soon to become a pillar in the community, I'm sure. So thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for trusting me with this story.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
For sure. So now I just want to ask something I always ask. How would you introduce yourself?
A lot of people know me as Soup in the city. I go by Chris. The corporate world knows me as Chris. Owner, founder, operator of Seasons Restaurant and Bar.
All right, and where did Soup come from? Because it's a fire name, but it's like it's interesting.
Funny story. So my last name is Campbell.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
When
Got
I grew up playing ball in high school, our coach, we had 3 Chris's on the team. He would say Chris, and everybody would answer him. It was one of those practices where he wasn't having it, so he got upset and he was like, "I'm gonna call you Soup from now on." And I didn't like it, but it stuck. And I don't know, 15, 20 years later, everybody knows me as Soup.
It's still here.
Yeah.
It's still here. Okay. All right. I'm going to just start with a few different questions just to warm you up a little bit before we jump into the financial side of it. Because you are an entrepreneur. It seems like a serial entrepreneur. You have like a clothing brand I saw.
I did, yeah.
You did?
That's where we started, yeah.
That's where you started. Okay, we go get into all that, but we go loosen you up a little bit. Who is a celebrity that everybody think is fine, but you don't?
See, but the description of fine is like, is it just looks? Is it
just looks
that everybody thinks is fine that I don't?
Yeah. Cause we real superficial over here. That's it.
I don't know who a lot of people think is fine.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
So I don't know who to answer is that. I mean, we could talk about who's relevant now.
Yeah.
None of them are not good looking.
Okay.
I'll give you one. How about this? Because she's going viral right now. Glorilla is a very beautiful woman.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? But she's not exactly my cup of tea.
I got you. She's not your type. Okay.
Yeah.
Even with the new teeth and the
new teeth
done it. Did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the accent, she's funny. Everything that goes with it.
Yeah. Merzik. Yeah.
A beautiful spirit.
Hopefully one day I can be like, what's the dude name that interviewed her?
Speedy?
Speedy, yes. When I think about like the type of podcaster I want to be. I would love to be in a space like he is. Like, he's just so chill and yeah,
he's
like,
open,
open.
Funny.
Yeah, he's handsome. You know what I'm saying. So he's
still giving you the facts too.
Exactly. So very well researched. You familiar with the term black math?
Yes.
What is black math to you?
Perfect example.
Okay.
Depending on the scenario, black math may change.
Okay, that's true.
So my best friend the other day, we were on the phone, and I got a call. Say, yo, I'll call you back in 2 minutes. Okay. 2 minutes, I swear, I'll call you right back. 2 hours later, SpongeBob episode, and I'm finally calling him back. Like, we just hung up the phone 2 minutes later, and I'm like, yo, my bad, it's been 2 minutes.
Yeah.
What's going on?
What's going on? Okay,
and he's like, you know what,
math.
it's cool. So I consider that black math, or, I'm up the street. I ain't left the house yet.
Yeah. Any like large amount or something.
Absolutely.
It's like 50-11.
CPT.
CPT, hot weather plus taxes equals we getting crabs.
Absolutely. Few drinks and some crabs.
Exactly. And what is the best line to end an argument? For some reason, I feel like a really good answer to this question. I feel like you're really good at nipping stuff in the bud and just walking away.
My go-to lately, especially being in the restaurant, is don't worry about it.
Okay.
The don't worry about it for me is mainly like I've worked all the positions in the restaurant, so you don't have to worry about it. Whatever the excuse or reason or rhyme is, I'll figure it out and I'll get it handled.
Okay. So is the customer always right?
No, unfortunately.
Y'all heard it here first. The customer sometimes be wildin'.
Sometimes. Not all the time. I'm not going to go too deep in that, but in certain scenarios, as we know, some people try to push the limits or take advantage or see how far they can take certain things. And unfortunately, but fortunately, we are in the business of hospitality. So to them, they are always right. We are always going to try to, appease to them or, make them happy, whatever it may be. But sometimes there are ceilings, there are limits, and there are certain times where you have to let them know.
Okay. Do you feel that like a refund is usually enough to fix a problem? And I know that cuts into the bottom line.
It does.
In the overhead.
A refund, depending on the situation, is not always going to fix whatever that problem was.
Okay.
Certain people, it's not necessarily about the money. Okay. Maybe they heard about you because of the experience or the ambiance, or somebody else put them on and they're coming there for an expectation, and it's not about the price. It's not about the money. It's more so about, the expectation of what you are presenting for your product, your business.
Okay. We'll get back to that. This is my last fire round question. You got a group chat, right?
I do.
I'm sure. Your brother in one of them?
No, he's not actually.
Okay. Dang.
He just complained about that.
For real?
Yeah, so we just took our whole staff on a group outing, and he was in the same car as multiple of the staff. And I was already at our location, so I'm texting the staff. They're running late, and I like to be on time to things. Unfortunately, I was late today. I apologize.
It's okay.
But, so I was upset, and I'm blowing the group chat up, and he texts me separately saying, I don't know what you're saying in this group chat, but I would like to be added. Now again, that's my brother.
And that's your blood brother.
I call him blood brother. We grew up together. I've known him for 22 years. Our family knew each other, still know each other. It's just that's my best friend, and blood doesn't make us,
I got you.
More or less.
Okay. Gang. No, the brother over there, y'all, he didn't want to be on camera. He didn't want a mic. He just over there silent sniper. If the group chat that Jay, your brother's now in, had a Wrapped, like a Spotify Wrapped.
Absolutely.
What would be the most talked about topic? What's the restaurant group chat? So it
is. Honestly, it's more like disciplinary actions or expectations.
Ooh, okay.
guys, you know, we need you to show up on time, or if you're not holding your weight here, it's accountable on your coworkers, not so much me. I want everybody to be fair to each other. Other than that, we play around a lot too.
Okay.
In our group chat. Everybody kind of has the same sense of humor, so it's a lot of jokes being thrown around in there too.
Okay. And one reason why I like sitting with the owners, technically, I mean, the bosses of these establishments, is because you guys carry a different type of weight. It's a different type of leader. And before we get into that, I do want to go back a little bit. Did you know, growing up, that this would be something that you would be pursuing, like being an entrepreneur, restaurant owner, clothing salesperson, basically a serial entrepreneur? Was this something that you saw growing up, or was it a way out, or take me back to what brought you to this?
I would say it's a mix of both. Do I think at a certain age everybody knows exactly what they want to do? No. But as far as the entrepreneur side, yes.
Okay.
Like I said, I've known, my brother here for 20 plus years. And the first business that he was actually a part of that we started together all those years ago was our clothing line.
Got you.
And it's due to his talent. You know, he's an artist.
Okay.
He paints, draws, graphic designs. We were able to put that plus another one of our friends at the time. We put all of our mindsets together. And it was just something to do for ourselves versus just...
to make money.
Not even making money. We didn't want to waste time doing other things. We played basketball and we hung out and we did what normal kids did. But this was just something that kind of brought us closer together, and it's what we liked to do at the time. It wasn't about making money back then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I see I'm on the Instagram page now, and it's Hustle 3 Motivate.
Hustle and Motivate, yeah.
Oh, Hustle and Motivate.
So the and sign way back then was taken. So
got
yeah.
I got you. Okay, cool. So when it comes down to money, right? What was your first relationship with money?
Not a good one.
Not a good one.
You know, coming from certain backgrounds and certain households, or I had a one-parent household trying to hold it down. So sometimes money's there and sometimes it's not. My father still runs and owns his own business now. So that's why I said both earlier. It comes from watching him do it, but also trying to figure out my own lane.
Gotcha. And who was in the house taking care of your mom?
No.
Your dad. Okay. Well,
if you grew up
complicated.
Yeah. If you grew up back then, you know, in the 90s, things were different. People could leave us alone for a couple hours and we'd be all right. You know, we knew how to fend for ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, we were able to go travel the neighborhood. And the good thing back then was he may have been gone working, but because we were kids in the neighborhood, their parents were around. You know what I'm saying? Him, I've known, like I said, my brother, his dad was around.
Yeah.
So even though my dad may have not been there, we're still in the neighborhood where other parents know of me and who I am, and they looked out for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, in your household, you said it was a one-parent household. So I'm just wondering what parent that was. Because now you're like, oh, yeah, my dad was an entrepreneur.
He was.
Okay. So he was doing his entrepreneur stuff.
He was.
I got you. Okay. Was it a restaurant?
No.
Okay.
Completely different.
Completely
field.
different.
Yeah.
Okay. And
he actually calls me crazy for trying to do a restaurant. Yeah.
I love talking to restaurant owners because my background is a nurse, and I work with obviously a lot of physicians, and one of them told me when I first started telling him about my entrepreneurship, he was like, whatever you do, don't open a restaurant. Like, it's just, he was like, I opened a restaurant, couldn't get my alcohol license. I put like $15,000 into it. I had partners. They weren't contributing anything, and we just weren't making money. The overhead is high. And then, of course, like your overhead is different because food goes bad. So you can buy a whole batch of food, and then
if you don't push it, it's
exact. So it's a hard business. It's a hard business to be in.
It is.
However, if it work, it work. If you know, it can be very profitable. So on to this. Your dad called you crazy for opening this restaurant.
Correct.
What makes you still do it?
So I love the industry, and it shifted for me. So I bartended for about 13 years.
Okay.
So I've been in the industry for a long time. I started at a nightclub in Ibiza, in DC. It was called Ibiza.
Oh, nice.
And
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it was massive.
That was
It was
wait a
massive.
minute.
It was a mega club. Yeah,
that was you?
yeah, I was there.
You never know who might show up on the couch, y'all.
So we started there and trickled down as far as bartending wise, and then I opened a club or a lounge. We'll call it that because Virginia, there's no clubs. And we outgrew our space in only 3 months.
Not too big.
Yeah.
Wow.
So once that shut down, I was on the hunt for another space. And I was in the same mindset. I was on the hunt for just a bigger space, but to do the same concept. And when I found the space I'm in now at Seasons, when we started to do the build out, it didn't feel like a lounge / club like we were running my last one. It felt more like what you come today and figure or you feel from Seasons.
Yeah.
It's warm, it's inviting.
Yeah.
I find people saying that they're sitting there for hours and they forget they're in Richmond. So it just changed.
That's a pretty big compliment.
Yeah.
So what was the lounge that you had prior to?
It was called View Lounge.
Okay, View Lounge.
VUE Lounge. Yeah.
Okay. I don't feel like and I tell everybody just because I haven't been.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
that's fine.
I'm from Richmond, but I literally I feel like I just got here a year ago.
Well, I can tell you this. The reason you may not know, we opened August 18th, 2022. And
right
we
after
were
COVID.
shut down in November, like the first, maybe second week of November, 2022. So we only made it about 3-4 months.
Okay.
Fire marshal came in 3 nights in a row and
shut you down.
Yeah, you're over capacity, so that's that.
So when something like that happens financially, because you've already put a ton of money into this.
Correct.
What do you just lose it? Or is it a tax write-off? Like, how do you
No, not
fix
exactly
that?
a tax write-off. So with View, it was me and a business partner. So you kind of both split the loss if you're at a loss.
Okay.
The way that we actually ran that business, we weren't necessarily at a loss. So it wasn't terrible losing it. It was terrible losing the momentum.
Got you.
So we didn't really have to write anything off. It was just more of how do we split up or figure out where we are now and divvy it up from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So dang. Okay. So how important is partnerships
Very.
in this business?
I'm starting to learn that more and more every day. Very, very important. You
I'm
need to
learning
make sure
that
you're on the
too.
same page.
No, yeah, I am. As far as networking, I've had a few different businesses before, and this one I feel like is working out the best because I'm having so many people on. And it's like almost like a mini networking session because it's the conversations that matter before and after. Like, if I've provided you a positive experience, you might be like, hey, yo, let me tell my friend about this. And the same thing that happened with you.
Yep.
So I'm thinking that partnerships are important, and I'm saying financially and mentally
100%
to lean on
mentally.
somebody. Yeah.
Because depending on how the business goes, people start to change or feel different ways. There's just a lot of ways that your partner means a lot when it comes to your business because it affects the business.
I got you. What's the most expensive item in your kitchen that is not food?
The kitchen.
The kitchen.
So my building, I didn't have a piece of equipment in my kitchen when I took over the lease. So I had to put
you built it out.
I built the entire thing. The walls you see, the bar. There's a video on my personal page.
I did see that before and after. Oh my gosh.
So we did a lot of work to that building. It took me 1.5 years to do the build out.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's a method to the madness behind that too.
Yeah.
But the most expensive piece in the kitchen, I would say, outside of food, any of the equipment. I mean, our 3-in-1, 6 or 8 burner range with the griddle plus the 2 ovens. That's a very expensive piece of equipment. I would probably say that at the moment.
Okay. And I'm coming from a customer experience, so I feel like I just wish I had somebody else here who had like a restaurant experience so I could really dig into the backside of it. But coming from a customer, I come in and I sit down. I'm seated, so you have like somebody who's seating people, right?
Correct.
And they're getting paid, I guess hourly.
Correct.
For that. So I'm like, okay, so because now I'm looking at everything like dollars. Coming in, the person seats me. Thank you. How you doing? Have a good time. Whatever. Then I see the server. that's another source of funding that you have to provide because
Correct.
they're getting paid hourly as well.
Correct.
And then they're taking my order.
Mm-hmm.
They go back to the kitchen, and you have the chefs, and you
Correct.
have like the kitchen staff, and you have the people washing dishes. So I guess my question is like, how profitable is running a restaurant when you have so much overhead, so many employees, and it's not like you can't really cut costs when it comes to like having people serve and things like that. So how profitable is it?
You can cut a couple corners. I don't like to call it cutting corners, though.
Right.
You can cut some costs depending on, for instance, vendors. So what you didn't say is like your food costs to actually buy the food, to bring it in the building, the liquor costs, on top of your rent, electric, utilities.
Yeah,
all
because I'm
those
going to have
things
me a drink. Yeah.
you know, all of those things before you even reach the host. So
okay.
what I like to tell people is make sure you actually know. There's a lot of people that jump into this business because they see the highs, the profits, the money. They see a packed house. They see people, the lifestyle, right? I tell people you need to know your bottom dollar, right? You need to know how much it costs you every day to operate that building for this month. And then you'll have a dollar amount of what you need to make every day in order to profit. Then once you know your dollar, you can fluctuate and play around a little bit, right? So my Fridays and Saturdays are busier than my Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I have more staffing on those days. It costs me more, but I'm also making way more in sales, profit. You know what I'm saying? So you also, it's a checks and balances game too. You know, you're not always going to profit every day, but the goal is to.
Okay.
It's a lot though. Like you said, when it comes to staffing and just to take your order or complete your order, it is a lot of different payrolls or hands it has to go through to complete your one transaction. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
But it's profitable if you do it correctly and you stay true to your bottom dollar or your bottom line, and you know this is what I want my food cost to be. This is what I want to spend on alcohol every week, month, however you're doing it. And then you take your rent and you just work backwards is what I tell people.
Okay.
And you get to a dollar amount, you'll figure it out.
Take your rent and work backwards.
So take your rent, right? No matter what, you got to pay your rent.
Yeah.
No matter what. So if your rent is, I don't know, people's rents are different. We'll just do an even number. If your rent is $5,000 and we'll say the average month is 30 days, take your $5,000 divided by your 30 days, right? Now, you may not be open those 30 days, but you at least know if we are open 30 days, I have to make this. So now it plays into how many days you're open. I'm closed on every Monday. So out of the 30 days, now I'm only open 26. So out of that $5,000 divided by 26, how much do I have to make just to cover rent every day?
Oh, wow.
Now I start to add on everything else, right? And then you start to get, you'll get to a bottom number, right? And then you just run your operation based on your sales, right? Take a couple weeks, pay attention, and then you'll notice, okay, here, on Tuesdays, we need X amount of dollars to actually profit. So I may cut a kitchen staff person from, they'll come in and do their job, but they may get cut early.
Okay.
So, and then when it comes to expenses, just start at your most expensive person and try and cut them back because
Who is the most expensive person?
Honestly, it's depending on how your business is set up, but ours is the chef.
Gotcha.
It goes chef, manager, line cooks. Usually your kitchen is going to cost you way more than front of house. They make most of their money off tips and gratuity, depending on if you add gratuity.
I was going to ask that for everybody.
Yeah.
Because if I'm sitting with a table of 8 or more, right? The gratuity is already added.
Correct. And
a question that I always have is, it almost feels like a moral dilemma. Do you still tip when gratuity is already added? What is the expectation or the right thing to do?
My opinion on that is going to be biased because I've been in the industry for so long. So here's the thing about gratuity. What you see on your check as far as gratuity charged may not be what that server actually is given.
Okay.
So I may ask the server that, do you get all of this? Is it split between you guys? Are you doing a tip pool? And that's just because I've been in the industry long enough. I want to make sure if you did give exceptional service that you you're compensated for it.
You get what you deserve. Yeah.
And you know, taking 8 or more or 10, we can be a lot at times. You know.
Yeah.
You know, food, drinks.
And then y'all got hookah, and I didn't even know y'all had hookah till I saw somebody website. Dang, they got hookah too.
Yeah, we have it.
Yeah. Okay, so gratuity, tipping is it standard though? Like, is that something that is expected when gratuity is already charged?
From our side, as far as working in the industry or owning it, no.
Okay.
Because they're looking at it as, well, both sides. Great employees are going to look at it as, that doesn't matter to me. I'm still giving you exceptional service to get the tip. Mm-hmm. You have employees, and it is what it is. You have employees across the board that sometimes they will look at it as, I got the gratuity either way.
Mm. I got you.
And sometimes you can tell the difference in service, you know, from those people.
Yeah, it seems like, for one, restaurants is a high turnover business.
It is.
Because I go to restaurants sometimes, and it's the server I love, and then they're not there no more the next time. They at a different place. So how is that for you as, well, are you even hiring people, or do you have somebody that does that for you?
So in the beginning I was hiring. I hire specific positions for seasons. Other positions, I have somebody else that does it.
Got you. Okay. But the high turnover, that seems like a source of, for one, frustration. And also you have to pay people to train them. So it's like you kind of lose those funds. You
do lose some funds. It is a high turnover rate. The reason being, I mean, let's be honest, nobody wants to be a server for their entire life. Nobody dreams of saying, I'm going to serve at this restaurant for my entire life.
Yeah.
So you're going to have the turnover. Most of your servers and things of that nature in restaurants, they're young. We got VCU around the corner. They're college kids, you know. So they're there for the duration of they're in school or while they're there. And the hardest part is not really them leaving. It's more so you have to be understanding that I was once your age, and I know that you don't want to work 7 days a week. You're young. You're in school. You're still trying to have fun. You're trying to live the college lifestyle. I understand that. That is the harder part to me than letting somebody go and finding somebody new.
I got you. Okay. College. Because I have a few people on here who are very successful that didn't go to college. Or at least if they did go to college, they didn't get a degree in what they're doing now. So I guess I'm wondering, did school play a role in what you're doing now?
I went to college.
You went to college.
Did not complete college. I was one of those ones that after I was there for a certain amount of time, I didn't make up my mind exactly at what I wanted to do. And I went to a private college at the time, so it was expensive.
Yeah.
And I just figured I could come back and figure it out before I kept paying that amount. And that's where I found the entrepreneurship in, I guess, fully coming back and saying, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. But it wasn't by choice. It just happened that way. I got super sick, and I went to the doctor, and they didn't know, so I had to come back home and go to my primary doctor. And that's how I had missed enough school where I looked at my dad and I was like, I'm not trying to play catch up.
Dang, it wasn't even your fault.
No, not at all.
Oh.
So it was kind of one of those things. It was like you go back and you just you climb the hill trying to get yourself from behind, or And thankfully for me, it's working out.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like, you have the beautiful spot. You built it out. And for somebody like me, so one of the reasons why I started this podcast is because I wanted to ask people who are actually doing the thing about how they're doing the thing. Switching from a W-2 employee to entrepreneur.
I would say I never fully left W-2 until seasons. I always kept that side hustle of being able to go somewhere and bartend and help somebody out and keep some money coming in. Gotcha. Not really a W-2 there, though. It's a 1099.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But it was...
so you never had a W-2 job?
I did. I worked corporate for a while. Gotcha. I left corporate in 2022 when we started the lounge.
Got you.
And then just never went back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What were you doing in corporate? Banking?
No.
I don't know why I can see you at a bank.
I wish I was in insurance for a long time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like an independent.
No.
Okay, I got you. Okay,
Yeah,
we
I
can
work
leave
for
that.
a global company, and
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I didn't work for a global company. I tried to sell insurance one time.
Okay.
Life insurance.
So I took that. If you ask me about all my jobs, I've
You'd
worked
have
some
done
crazy jobs. Yeah.
So you tried to do that too. So you became a financial advisor. You took the test and everything.
No. I skipped out on that. But you know what I stuck with that everybody's gonna laugh at? You remember them vectors, knives?
The knives.
I actually did that.
You lying.
I even went further than that. You ever heard of Kirby vacuums?
No.
Okay, Kirby vacuums used to be a $2,000 vacuum. I actually sold so many of them. The dude offered to drop me out of college to move in and be his regional director.
What?
Yeah. So I done worked some crazy jobs.
Okay. Wait. Because the knives.
Yeah.
I did that, and I was
did.
so excited when I got it because it had a sign that said $15 an hour. That was a lot of money back then. I don't know when you were born. What year were you born?
91.
Okay, I'm 93. So we both 90s babies.
So it's a lot of money.
It was a lot of money, but then he said,
"Go knock them doors." Yeah.
I said, "Wait a minute," and then I got to do a demonstration. And the knives was one thing. I'm like, I might be able to sell a knife, but a vacuum cleaner,
same thing.
You got to have some skills to sell a vacuum cleaner.
You go to people's houses.
A $2,000 vacuum cleaner.
You do a demonstration. You shampoo one room. It was one of them.
It was one. Okay.
That vacuum, shampoo, it did all those things in one. And then the worst part about it is I'm a young kid. I'm in my teens. And at the end, I'm pulling out this folder like, okay, how do you want to finance this vacuum? And that's what woke me up to saying I'm really
good at this.
Asking people, not even that.
Oh.
Good at it, but I'm asking you to finance a vacuum.
Yeah.
So that's what led me to learn about money and how the bank works, because I would never come to you and say, hey, at this day and age, you should finance a vacuum.
Yeah.
You should take out some money alone and figure it out how to pay for a vacuum. I would never in my life tell you that now.
Yeah.
But it took me going through that to learn money and the process of the bank and how they work and interest and, you know.
You was charging interest on the vacuum?
I wasn't, but
the company.
Oh, absolutely.
So you wouldn't go in saying, "Oh, this is $2,000." You would go in and say, "Oh, if you pay X amount of dollars per month,
that was the pitch.
This can be yours."
So you could come out whole with it, right? And then if you say I don't have it, you could we can finance, but of course finance, and if it's $2,000, as soon as you finance, now it's $2,800.
Yeah.
And it was. I only did that for the summer and then got out of it. Okay. I learned what I needed to learn from it.
Okay, I'm ready to say you learned a pretty good lesson, and you learned it pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. In order to have the person want you to come and live with them, they saw some in you.
Well, not live. He just wanted me not to go to school because it was the summer before I went to college, and that was it. I left for college, and I still have this message on my phone. He hit me up on Facebook. Oh. And was like, "Yo, basically, I haven't been making the money since you've been at school. If you want to come back, I'll cover, this expense, and I'll give you this per vacuum instead of what you were getting." So it's like I was getting the vacuums at a wholesale price now, and I was able to sell them at the same price. I was just getting more, but that's not what I wanted to do. That. Yeah, no.
Okay, so that was the W-2. So then we go to the 1099s. What was that? The restaurants?
Yeah, 1099s is most bartenders, they file as a 1099, just depending on how you do your taxes or what the company is viewing you as. I still got some W-2s from a couple bartending places, but have I done anything outside of ownership or just bartending in the past since 2019? No. 2023, whenever I left the corporate job.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now when do we get to making enough money so that we don't have to do both?
Investments.
Oh.
Stay saving, putting away more than you spend, and then stock market is where I really came up a little bit to make a play.
Okay. Okay. So investments in the stock market, and this is a really I was not expecting.
I know it's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, I think because some people I talk to at this point, like today, I was like, maybe I just need to turn this into a self-help podcast, because people come on here and who have businesses sometimes, but they're not like really super into the intricacies of investing.
Gotcha.
Or financing. So I'm interested to hear what got you into that. What got you into investing?
Funny conversation again with this guy and another friend we had. I used to have an apartment where it was, and they would come over, and I used to do this thing on Sundays where we would drink, cook, do whatever, right? And I want to say in 2013, maybe 14 or 15. They came over, we were drinking beers or whatever, and messing around on our phones, and I had come across this thing called Bitcoin. And I had told them about it. I won't say the price that it was at this time because everybody's gonna get very upset. It was super cheap, and we had all talked about it. You know, we shot the shits. We did what we did. Nobody jumped on it.
Right. Hold on. You said what year was it?
2013, maybe something like that.
Okay.
2013, 2014 is when I was in that apartment and we were doing the Sunday things and talking about it.
Okay, I'm listening.
And none of us had done anything like that. Like I said, we used to all talk about, we talked about the clothing line. We had a friend that did music and producing, and we were just all trying to figure out a way to get out and do something on our own at this point. The clothing line was done pretty much, or not done. We had started one clothing line, and Hustle and Motivate came after that. So we had already had a clothing line before that. Anyway, I dug into it, did some research, and figured out how to actually create an Ameritrade account and dig into that back then. Made an investment, didn't pay attention to it.
Okay.
A couple years later, I get into, or Robinhood comes about.
Right.
Which is way more user-friendly.
Okay, yeah.
So I transfer.
But when you were in Ameritrade, and by the way, we are not financial advisors. Please consult a professional before you make any investment decisions. Please. That's our disclaimer. What did you invest in TD Ameritrade?
So early it was Bitcoin, Ethereum, Shiba, Tesla.
On Ameritrade? TD Ameritrade?
I believe it was Ameritrade. I could be talking about something different.
Okay.
Because right now, maybe it was Fidelity or.
I didn't know they had crypto back then.
They did. That's where I first got into crypto. So Shiba, my very first Shiba deposit, which is one of the altcoins, was on Ameritrade.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the only reason I got into that, which I used to tell them, is because it cost less than a penny.
Yep.
So it didn't cost us no money to play around and learn.
Yep.
Anyway, fast forward, switch into Robinhood, transfer my money into Robinhood, and I made a decision for 6 months to move back in with my parents to try and stack up and make a play happen. I dumped some money into stock market at that point in time and kind of forget about it and come back around and it's up. So super fast forward now to Seasons. I let that money sit for all those years. Didn't touch it, just dumped little by little in. And I got to a point with Seasons where it took us a year and a half to build. So my funds had dried up. But that crypto wallet was always, this is a retirement, don't touch it unless you need it.
Yeah.
My brother watched me sit there, and this is a full circle moment because it took him all the way back to 2013 when I first told them to invest. And he watched me actually withdraw money from that Bitcoin to pay for a lot of the stuff you see today in Seasons. And that's what made him turn around and say, you were serious all them years ago. And I said, yeah.
They didn't invest in it, you did. You're the only one that invested in it. Okay, and for the people, you're not going to say it, but in 2013, I'm going to just say what I see on my computer. I don't know what you got it for because it fluctuates.
It does.
It says it was $192.40. The Bitcoin price.
It's dropped today. Ever since what happened, it's down.
But it hit 100K.
It did.
So
it did.
Oh, it
surpassed.
So it's 100K. About it hit 100K now today as of
it did. Okay.
Right now it's $79,719.90.
I'm not gonna say I got in that early or how many shares or of what I had.
Oh, you got more than one. We gonna leave it right there.
I did well for myself.
Okay, we gonna leave it right there. We gonna let. Yeah. Okay. this is the essence of this whole show, right? Buy and hold. And you literally just set it and forget it.
Hold on. As my best friend, he's been quiet. You watch
No, he
that
been
happen? You watch
he been
that
nodding
happen?
the whole time. He been nodding the whole time.
I just want people to know it's like put
Legit.
your friends on, whether they believe you or not. Put them on, right? Put them on. Drive it home, right? And I tell them now, I will put y'all on to every play I have.
Yeah.
As I said, that's my brother.
Yeah.
He's my house DJ. It's not about keeping all the money in the house. It's feed them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So put your friends on.
Yeah.
Friends listen to the people trying to put you on. Not everything. Some things are scams, but
yeah.
You know, full circle years later, he was able to watch me actually tell him or look back and say, "You told us about that. We didn't listen, and now I'm watching you actually make a play based on what you told us." Yeah.
And the thing with Bitcoin, I love Bitcoin, and you say you had some Ethereum too. I think the first coin I got most likely was Bitcoin, and the second one was Ethereum. I got it at $2,000, and then it went to $4,000. I sold it. But Bitcoin, it's just the numbers and stuff on it. Cause I had mines on a exchange. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. It's called Voyager. And Voyager went bankrupt, right? So the platform shut down.
And your money was still caught up in there?
The money's gone. Yeah. All the money's gone. So it was like I had about like 10,000 in there. It's done. I think they gave me like a check for like 2,000. But like everything else is done. So that's where the intricacy of you buying and holding crypto so long is so interesting to me. Because I'm like, well, did you have it on an exchange? Did you have it on a cold wallet?
Honestly, I can tell you where I really started to really make the money, or that I noticed I was making money, wasn't the early days. It was when Robinhood became more accessible on a phone.
Okay, so you moved it from Ameritrade to Robinhood.
100%.
So it was always on a platform.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I transferred, and at one point a couple years ago, maybe 2 years, we took that huge dip in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I sold, but I didn't pull out of your virtual wallet. I left it there, dumped it back in at a certain price, and still just let it go. You know.
I got you.
But Bitcoin now, because I pulled out a certain price, dumped back in. I mean, I still got it super low.
Yeah. Dang, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So you used a little bit of Bitcoin.
A little bit of Bitcoin, even Doge. Doge, I made
and Doge too. You got into Doge too,
yeah.
like when it first popped out.
No, I mean, I can pull it up. I don't know what I got into Doge, but I caught it early enough.
You caught it early enough, okay.
And it was cheap enough that I bought enough shares,
okay,
that when it hit its peak, I was able to capitalize on that.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
And then Sheeb too.
Yeah, I still hold Sheeb.
You still hold
it's
that,
still
okay.
under a penny that whenever and if it does. The thing about Bitcoin, and if you pay attention, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the altcoins follow Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin goes up, so does Ethereum.
Oh,
you know.
Look at me saying, I ain't know that, because ever since my money went away, I ain't been paying attention to it. Yeah. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, they go up together for the most part. The other ones not so much, but Bitcoin and Ethereum follow each other, and the smaller altcoins will start to follow them.
Oh, okay. Did you get some Trump coin?
No.
You didn't get that at all?
No.
Okay.
I don't really mess around with the meme coins. I know Doge is now a meme coin, but
yeah,
it's that's like gambling to me. It's not so much trying to play out what I know.
Okay.
And we don't know too much, but if you do some research, the stock market pays out depending on where you do, and crypto is not, as of now, a part of that, but it pays out over 8 to 10% every year over year, for the history of the stock market.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
If you pay attention to that, you put $100 in there, year over year, you're going to make 8 to 10% on that. So you just keep, you know.
Oh my gosh, this is such an amazing conversation, because you literally invested something in 2013. This is more than 10 years ago. This is 12
Hey, what's our statement when it comes to seasons? A lot of people say this happened overnight, or they want to know how it came about. And he tells people all the time, or we say each other, like, this is 10 years in the making. Like, even from back when we started bartending and doing all those hustles, we still implement a lot of those things into what we have going on now.
And plus, they say it takes 10 years to become an overnight success.
Absolutely.
So where did the name Seasons come from?
So the concept in the building we have now, Seasons, is not the name that it originally was going to be. I had a whole different concept that I decided to flip and change and hold this concept off for another location. But what we did is we took my original concept and the name of that concept, and we figured out what other names or words would fit the same way, because I didn't want to completely change the concept. And after us playing around a bunch, we got to Seasons. And then when we were building out Seasons, that's where you started to feel, or the concept behind it is, things change, seasons change. So every season, our food menu will change. Some of the colors, some renovations. There's a lot of things that you will start to see change as every season changes.
Oh, I saw the new menu was fire.
Thank you.
I mean, especially for the people who don't eat meat. I saw that salad. It's just,
thank you.
It looks so fresh and everything. Dang, you got a lot to unpack. Okay, so is this new location something that is not you're not talking about yet? Is it something that's?
I mean, so I have a couple concepts.
Okay.
That particular concept that I was gonna do. If you're aware, Shako Bottom has a particular demographic, even depending on the hour.
Black?
I honestly no. It was. If you're in Shako Bottom right now between the hours of 12 and 3, you're going to see more Caucasians than you do black people.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I don't be outside. So you clearly.
You just got to pay attention though. I tell people this all the time when you pay attention to your business.
Right.
So just the concept I was going to do was not going to get me where I wanted to go. And I realized that. And I said, we'll put this in the pocket and we'll take it to this particular city if we can find the space and whatever.
Okay.
However, Seasons has grown into something that we do plan on, I won't say franchising, but there will be more than one.
I was going to ask you that because I'm thinking about when I think about small creators or, business owners who go big, the first person I kind of think of is Pinky Cole with Slutty Vegan. And I always wonder, what is the plan for what you're going to do with it? Because it seems you have a good concept. And honestly, it's feminine in there, but it's like masculine. It's like the perfect touch of both because it's like accents, really nice accents, but it's dark, like a dark ambiance. So you have the perfect match of both. I see how this could be, duplicated.
Thank you.
In a lot of, for sure. No, you did that. So has anybody reached out to you about this, or is this something that you just been like?
Nobody's reached. I won't say nobody. I've had some people reach out, but it's not necessarily a conversation that I'm looking to have.
Got you.
I am also very big on we should own and we should to keep ownership. And if you can make your business work to where you can keep as much ownership as possible.
Yeah.
Instead of giving this piece and that piece and that piece, until it eventually doesn't make sense. But as far as Seasons, yes, I plan to replicate it, but on a bigger scale, in another city. I won't say that city, but we are already in the works of making that happen.
What?
Yeah.
Man. And okay. And you 91, baby. So how old is that again?
33.
33. Oh my gosh. This is crazy because when you talk about ownership, that's right up my alley. That's right up my lane. Because I think that, well, for one, I do have one question. Are you all black or you have some okay, I can see.
So I'm mixed.
Okay.
I see the question asked all the time, so I'll put it out there now. I see the question on social media a lot, is Seasons black owned?
Okay.
And I choose to not respond to that for a reason. But I do tell people when asked, we are multicultural owned.
Gotcha.
And that being that I'm not 100% black, neither are some of the people that I have running the establishment with me at the moment, my managers, the staff there you see. So I like to say it's multicultural owned so that it doesn't put us in a box. Or it doesn't say that I'm just trying to portray to this and I don't want that. The thing about Seasons is I want everybody to come and enjoy themselves. It's there for everybody to eat. It's not there for just our culture or their culture. It's there for all of us to come and be together. And think of a cookout. You go, your cousins you ain't seen in 10 years. They bring somebody you don't know. y'all are still becoming one over food, drinks, and companionship.
Yeah.
So that's what I want at Seasons.
Yeah. I mean, just talk. If I was talking to you on the phone,
You wouldn't know.
I would think.
I can switch it up. I know.
Yeah. I would think. I think when I first saw you, it was dark in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you had, I don't know what you had on, but you were real light.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew you would, by the way you shook my hand. It was the
firm.
the firmness, the confidence. I was like, yeah, that's us.
That's what we were taught, though. That's what we were taught. Shake a hand firmly.
Yeah, yeah. And we back, y'all. All right, the topic of ownership. Okay, and I get real passionate about this topic because me personally, I feel like, and I say this a lot, everybody talk about the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody talks about how he went back on that speech and started saying that he wished that we hadn't have integrated. One, because it took the dollar away from the black community. Now the dollar's not circulating in our community. It's circulating in everybody else's community because their stuff is a little better. But when they won't letting us using it, the dollar circulated in our community and we were supporting each other. Mm-hmm. Now, fast forward to the point where we have people that are on welfare for decades. Not to just say it's only black people because it's white people. But I'm just saying, we are the ones that have been, said to have benefited from the whole DEI situation, and we're the ones that's like speaking out about it. And I'm like, we really could create our own initiative if we just supported each other.
You could.
Like the local businesses, the local restaurants, like the local bus, like if we had a bus company, because we had a bus company. I think we had it up north. I'm not sure if we had it in the south.
They had a bus company, and they left due to the boycott of Rosa Parks because they wanted to be on the white bus line. And that's how we lost our bus line. Yeah.
Absolutely. So when I have people that come in here that actually own their establishment, right, and have a keen understanding of why, not just because it's cool to own my shit. Like it's like, no, this is a movement. Like this is a mission, and I understand. I got here through investing. I ain't come from not much. Not saying I don't know if you came from much or not, but a lot of us don't come from much. Correct. We get it out the mud, and you make this investment. And let's just say it's a $200 investment 12 years ago. And this investment is now $80,000. You use that investment that you bought and held with discipline, and you've created something beautiful in it that's not only beautiful, but it's making money.
Thank you.
And it's also giving people jobs,
Correct.
Opportunities.
Correct.
And you about to do it again because you about to duplicate it. Like that right there is black excellence to me.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So I just want to know, before we close this out, what does ownership mean to you?
Ownership means a lot to me personally. It's a couple things.
It's a deep question.
It is, because I think of it in so many ways. Like that question could be it could be responded in a selfish answer or an answer, about me, but I'm going to choose to do it in a different way. And I'll bring my brother back into it. It's what I've drove home to him about Seasons, right? So to drive this whole interview home, Seasons, the reason that you kicked it off and said you may have heard about Seasons, but you may not know who owns it.
Yep.
My goal for Seasons was Seasons to be bigger than me. My goal for Seasons was for it not to matter who the owner was, for that it to be big enough and become a staple that people just want to go there because of Seasons. Didn't matter if it was a promoter, an owner, a DJ. They just wanted to go there because they felt safe and they were in an atmosphere that was inviting. I feel as though I'm on that right path, but that was the goal. So to circle that back around to ownership to me is exactly what you said. Not only to be able to provide for me and mine, but to be able to give back to family, friends, the community, people in need, young people that need jobs, young people that just need guidance and advice and a mentor and a counselor that are in college and studying business. And they're just coming there to learn how you did it because you're like-minded, or you're the same color, or you went to the same school, or, hey, we're just here together. We're in Richmond and you're accessible. Ownership to me is, like I said, and I told my brother there, that 37-foot bar, there's a lot of symbolism in Seasons that a lot of people don't know. There's a reason there's 7 roses. Yeah. Ooh. There's a reason that the bar is a certain length. There's a reason to certain things, and we look at it, and I say that as it's the last supper for me. That bar is the last it's that linked because for me, I am there to feed others. I feel as though if I continue to water them, God will water me, and eventually it'll pay off more than I ever could ask for, as long as they are eating, as long as they are happy, as long as they can come to you and say, hey, you're an employee at Seasons. Do you like working there? Not only do I like working there, my owner cares for me. He makes sure we're taken care of, that we're mentally okay, and that, spiritually, mentally, whatever way you want to look at it, that he's feeding us. So eventually that God will feed into me, and I'll be able to continue to do that to others.
Dang. I wouldn't have got that.
Yeah.
When I walk, it's a movement.
Yeah, it's a lot of things.
Seasons is a movement. Okay, so you said something about 7 Roses too.
Yeah.
What's that about?
He may not want to be on here, but I will let him tell it. He painted it. He's the artist behind the mural in there.
My toes just curled.
Yeah, he has been along my entire journey to see it. There's a lot of things we didn't talk about. I didn't come from an amazing background. We did get out the mud. He's seen some things that, it's amazing to be where we are now. And because of our brotherhood and what he's watched and me climb this ladder, we were able to hide some symbolisms or some Easter eggs in Seasons. And the real meaning behind the roses, because Seasons doesn't mean a rose. It's really just the rose of the flower that grew from the concrete, the flower that could grow. Because against all odds, you still made it. You were still able to overcome those things, and light shined on you, and now you're unconsciously able to do so to others. It sounds like you've done a lot of inner work. Yeah. Seasons has made me grow a lot, I will say that. And it's without getting too spiritual or deep, it's a higher force that's speaking through me and allowing me to. He's moving me, and I'm just walking in his footsteps right now.
We on the same kind of type of time. Mm-hmm. I feel like my pastor literally came to see me the other day in this room. He was sitting where I'm sitting. I was sitting over there where Jay is sitting. Mm-hmm. And he told me, he was like, God wants you to know that you're his. Mm-hmm. He was like, I don't know if you heard this from a black man ever, because my dad died before I was born. He was like, but I love you. God is telling me to tell you from a black man that I love you and that you're enough. Wow. And I don't know why. And he crying.
It hit home though.
It hit home for me. He's bought. So for you to be here and say that it's interesting.
One of my favorite quotes is our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Oof. And it is not our light that measured us. It is the darkness within. So as we continue to shine, we unconsciously liberate others to do so, because we were all meant to shine as children do. It's not in one of us, it's in everyone. And, so on and so forth. But Seasons, people see it as a restaurant. And for me, it's Noah's Ark. It's really, I'm building this structure to take the family and everybody, the community with me in 2s, 3s, 4s, whatever it takes to put them on in places so that eventually they're able to hold me up, and I'll be on that pedestal to them because I was able to at least give my hand and trying to give back.
It's divine in here. I always say, anybody who comes in here, whether you're on mic or not, anybody who comes in here, nobody comes in here that's not supposed to be in here. If you had an episode and you cancel or something happened where you couldn't come, you weren't supposed to be here. You're here at the right time, the right mindset. Oh man,
I want you to know too, and I'll tell this on camera before I came in here. First podcast, super nervous.
Yeah.
But it's something about you, and I gotta say this on television. Not television.
Yes, whatever. On television.
Have you ever seen the show Roundtable Game Show?
No.
You need to watch it. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
And it's a bunch of comedians, and I think it's something you'll like. But there's somebody on there named T. She's a comedian. You reminded me of her, and it was something, and we only had that one conversation.
Yeah.
But it was like, you know what? It's open enough, and this is something that you feel comfortable in watching, so you can go here and be open. But I want to. There's a reason I'm here. We rescheduled once, and I want to say thank you.
Oh, of course. And when I met a lot of people who come on here, they haven't done a podcast before. Mm-hmm. I pull up on people. If I want you, I'ma has you. I'ma has you. I got to have you on here.
Absolutely.
So it's like, what people say, like, yo, if you would have hit me up through email, on the phone, through text, Instagram, I probably would have said no.
Yeah.
But since it was in person, and I felt your energy, it was good because I'm really here to educate the community, and it's a bigger dream. It's a bigger vision than I'd imagine. Write the vision and make it plain. I just started writing my business. I have been running business for a long time, and just now wrote the business plan 2 days ago. So
put it on paper.
Put it on paper. This is crazy. I just thank you, God, for just bringing.
Absolutely, thank you, God. And remember, there is always a bigger plan. You know.
Yeah, and your brother was telling me when you left out a little bit about your past. We won't get into it, but he was like, "Yo, if you see where we came from,
if you really knew,
if you really knew,
I'll tell one story. I'll tell one story, and it's more to attest to this man, and even him being in the room today.
Yeah,
story from my past, and it's not to put any. There was no reason for rhyme or reason. It was by choice. I'll say that. Okay. It was at a point in time in my life where I was living in a car. And I was just out hustling. I was out trying to get it. And, you know, he needed to come stay with me, and he did. And it built our bond from there. And I will say just staying in just one night. It doesn't even have to be, doesn't matter. One night in the car with somebody as close as your brother, family, or whatever. Y'all going to have a conversation, and you're going to build a bond that it should last a lifetime. And the things that we've experienced and seen through and been through from there, like I say, it's not about me at this point. It was just, I was in the right rooms, made the right choices, and had the ability to make this happen. So it's about feeding into them and showing them it's possible.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have biological brothers and sisters?
Even deeper story, but yeah, I got some half brothers and sisters.
Because y'all, I wouldn't have known. I mean,
it's crazy, right?
We can say when you were outside, I was ready to look at him and be like, "Hey, Soup," like, y'all look alike.
It's crazy.
Yeah, y'all got the same mannerism.
You ever heard the thing, you husband and wife, the longer they're together, they start to act like each other, look like each other. 20 plus years in the making. You know, same mannerisms. It's been a long time. Like I said, that's my best friend.
Yeah.
One of the most solid, and was down for the ride from, hey, I got $50. Let's go buy a couple T-shirts and flip this clothing line, to now we're in the conversation of trying to, you know, $1 million developments or $1 million buildings that we're trying to get into.
I'm in the right company, I tell you that.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It's a long way. It takes some work, but you need some people besides you that's gonna ride for you and tell you when you're right or wrong.
Right or wrong. And y'all take that criticism and don't get mad and stop talking to the people, because they down for you. They down to ride for you. Oh my gosh, this has been amazing. I usually end off with a quote, but you already gave a quote. You already done dropped so many things. My quote is, I think I got two. The one is, I like math because it doesn't have an opinion. And it's a difference between being broke and being poor. Broke is economic. Poor is a mindset.
It's a mindset. That's right.
Those are my two quotes. And if you have read a book or are reading one that really impacted you, give us that one. If you have. I mean, if not, then it's cool, because a lot of people up here don't read and are very successful. So
I used to read. I'm gonna be honest now. I don't really have much time. Electronics now make it. We skimming through things. Back in the day, where we used to say keynotes. That's basically what we're doing now. I will tell you this though. I'm gonna name some of the same books that I've read that I actually got from him that some of your past guests have read that impact in certain ways. 48 Laws of Power.
Okay, yeah.
Rich Dad Poor Dad is, love it. To me, was all a mindset book.
That's my favorite book.
It was a mindset book, and I got it from him. What is that book? I can't remember the name. I just started reading it. I ordered something on Amazon, and they sent me a book instead of what I ordered. He came to the house, saw the book, and said, "Oh, that's actually a good book." Huh. But I can't.
You were supposed to have it. Dang.
I can't remember the name. You can't remember the
name of it. Who's on it? Like, who wrote it?
I will text you and let you know. But it's a self-improvement book, and it's about soul searching.
Ooh, okay. It's not like the 5 agreements.
Seed of the soul.
Seed of the soul. Yeah. Okay. Seat or seed?
Seat of the soul.
Okay. I'm gonna check that one out.
It's not the 5 agreements or what's that? The 5 secrets. I've read some of those.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest now. Other than books, there's nothing wrong with it. What we talked about earlier, I'm walking more by faith at this point. It's just, you know, It's not wrong with reading.
That's
Yes, obviously we want the knowledge and intelligence, but
that's a whole other podcast.
yeah, I'm just walking by faith at the
Yeah,
moment
yeah.
and letting God carry me,
Okay.
you know, with the knowledge that I have.
Okay. And last but not least, how can we support you?
You can support us by following us on Seasons RVA on Instagram and Facebook. You can stop into our brick and mortar location at 1718 East Main Street, Richmond, Virginia. You can check out our website. But I will say, more importantly than not, follow us on Instagram. Stay in tune there. That is where we post the majority of our updates. We have a ton of community included, not just inside of Seasons, upcoming events that we would like to be, everybody to be a part of.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
more than likely, just bring a friend, bring a family, come try out our food.
I'm coming back.
You know,
I'm coming back. That
Enjoy.
joint it's just sitting there. Like, it's just like so inviting.
I mean,
So welcoming.
Our mantra right now is come for dinner, stay for the vibes.
See, now I'm gonna have to check y'all out. Y'all close at 12 tonight. Like, what's y'all
We
hours
do.
again?
So we're open Tuesday through Sunday, 5 p.m. till midnight. We do run late night food. Our kitchen is open pretty much till midnight every night. On
Okay.
Fridays and Saturdays, we keep our kitchen open a little later.
Okay.
And we keep a full menu. It's not a late night menu, so you can still come in at 12:15 on a Saturday and order lamb chops or steak or crab cakes
Okay.
or one of the many options that we have.
Yes. And why is it closed on Mondays?
I need a day off.
Asking for myself. Oh, okay.
It's,
That
so
makes sense.
being an owner operator,
Okay.
I'm running myself dry, and Monday in the industry is not a huge money making day, and because we're food heavy, it costs to keep a kitchen back there.
Got you.
You know, so I'm taking my day of rest.
I got you.
Yeah.
Oof. All right, y'all. Well, that wraps up another amazing episode of Conversations Unearthed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Peace, blessings. Good night.